Wow, listen to those drums. Takes me back many years to 11 or 12 and just constantly bashing around on my organ. So we are listening to the KR55C from Cherry Audio. And it's their faithful reproduction software of the vintage Korg drum machine from late 70s, early 80s, the 55A and the 55B. Now, by means of some very clever analog modeling and sampling, you get a very faithful reproduction of all the drum sounds from the KR55, and you get all of the drum rhythm patterns as well from the 55A and the 55B. So here's the 55A, and in the preset page here, you can see all of the original drum patterns. Let's hit a bit of cha-cha. Oh yes. How about some disco? You can change the variation by the variation buttons here. Here's Disco 3. Sounds kind of familiar, right? I do love a bit of bossa nova. You also get a fill-in and an intro button. Nice. And in the 55B, you got a whole different bunch of presets and double the amount. Here's Disco 1. C. And if we click the pattern toggle switch here, you get the second bank. So this is Disco 3, pattern group 2. Let's hit a bit of shuffle. Yeah, baby. I'm not going to go through all the patterns, God, it would take too long. But you get the general gist. Just cutting in quickly on my phone. Apart from the factory presets, you get a whole bunch of patterns programmed by Cherry Audio up in the browser. And I'll put a couple of examples quickly in there when I get back home after work. Anyway, back to the video. Now, on the original hardware, you were very, very limited on any sort of editing. But Cherry Audio have sprinkled their lovely fairy dust all over this and given us a whole bunch of extra options and effects and God knows what. Here's the first page on the edit mode tab here. You'll see instrument. Here we can change the tonality, EQ, all different types of things for each individual drum sound. Now I'm going to load up a pattern that I created earlier. I'm going to show you how to make a pattern very soon, so stay tuned. Let's choose Disco Mark. Kind of a standard disco-y type job. But I'm going to show you by way of all these knobs on this first instrument page here, how you can change the tonality of each drum sound. So let's hit start. Now let's change the bass drum a little bit, make it a little bit more boomy. You can tune it a bit. And on the snare with the attack noise knob, completely change the crispness of that. And the decay gives a bit more bite. Yeah, that's really hitting hard. On the hi-hat, you can make it a much more metallic type sound. Now on the mix page, we have even more control. Things like volume. It's taking the snare out. We can pan. So let's pan the hi-hats. Going to the right. Going to the left. We can solo them. And we can mute. Take the snare out. Fantastic. On the top here, you can see the effects routing matrix. Now, this is where some of the fun begins. Cherry Audio have given us a whole bunch of effects that we can use per instrument. If we hit the effects tab, we've got a compressor, limiter, overdrive, flanger chorus, echo, and reverb. And we can activate these per instrument by means of these buttons up at the top. For instance, Let's add some echo to the snare. You can hear that ping-ponging. And you can change the different aspects of that effect. Now, I'm going to stop that for a second. Now, with that echo added to the snare, you can hear that completely changes the rhythmic feel of the pattern. And I love playing around with the time knob on here to give you a different feel. So cool. Let's solo the hi-hats for a second. Play around with the flanger chorus. Nice. That's the chorus. Like that. Yeah, that is groovy. So pretty much endless possibilities. You can really dial in whatever type of sound you want. You can have some really kick-in, hardcore stuff. Or you can really dial it out and make it really kind of 8-bit and chip-tuney and all that kind of stuff. Really nice. I was editing the video last night and forgot to mention you get the standalone version, the VST stereo version, and you also get a VST multi-out version, which lets you stem out all the individual drum sounds into individual audio tracks in your DAW. Now, beside edit mode here, you've got pattern mode. Hit preset and you get access to the factory patterns. Hit user, and here is where you can make up your own patterns, and this is super fun. Let's clear this pattern out just for a second. So we've got a blank slate, and we'll quickly make up a 16-step pattern. So we've got 16 steps here, and basically all we do is choose an instrument with this big dial here. There's the bass drum, and use your big buttons over here as a step sequencer. So let's hit a 4 on the floor kick drum. Nice. I'm going to quickly edit that so it's a little bit more bitey. And also turn it up a bit. There we go. Nice. Let's now click on snare, and for now we'll just do the standard 5 and 13. Nice. But now I'm going to add that echo back in, but change the time of that. I do like that. So we can dampen that down a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Now let's go to our closed hi-hat, and we'll just drag in all 16 steps like so. You can hear that's already got some modulation going on there. I'm just going to turn that off for a second. There we go, that's a clean sound. And I like just to randomly turn off steps just to see how things sound. Yeah, that's all right. Let's turn off that, put that one on. Nice. Let's turn it all the way around to the clav, and we'll add in those 4 steps. Ah, nice. Simple as that. And just go up and save your patterns. Who needs a manual, right? And once you've made up your patterns, you can even flick that down to song and join those patterns up and make a complete song. Superb. So yeah, I think this little thing is banging. Pop over to the Cherry Audio website and take a look for yourself. For the price of a haircut and a coffee, my God, endless fun. And if you're looking for kind of that retro drum sound, I don't think you need to look too much further. Anyway, I've skimmed over the basics. There's other great videos out there, which I'll link some to down at the bottom. And yeah, catch you in the next one.